By Florence VILLEMINOT. Hello, Florence. We're going to start with that much talked about article by Angelina Jolie.
That's right. It's in the New York Times today, and she talks about her medical choice. Now, what she's doing is explaining why she decided to have a preventive double mastectomy followed by reconstructive surgery. And she says, the truth is, I carry a faulty gene that sharply increases my risk of developing breast cancer and ovarian cancer, so she decided to be proactive and to minimize the risk. Now, the reason she says she's writing this article is because she hopes that her experience can benefit to other women, and she encourages people to actually get tested to see if they have a risk of cancer. And she says, I chose to make my story public because there are so many women who do not know that they might be living under the shadow of cancer. And she goes on to say that life comes with many challenges. The ones that should not scare us are the ones that we can take on and take control of.
Well, let's hope it does help. Moving on to Bangladesh, it doesn't concern, well, you're going to explain. A few retailers have struck a deal in the hope of preventing another industrial disaster in Bangladesh.
That's right, because of course this comes in the wake of that devastating building collapse that killed over 1,100 people. This is the Daily Star, a Bangladeshi newspaper, and it calls this a landmark move. So basically, 6 major apparel companies, including H&M and Primark, have committed to this groundbreaking 5-year accord on safety standards in Bangladesh. Now, basically what this means is they won't manufacture at factories that fail to meet certain security standards and have committed to paying repairs and renovations. Now, on top of that, there's other good news for Bangladeshi workers, and that's that there are reports that the government is going to set up a new minimum wage board to increase salaries for garment workers. And there's getting a lot of attention to this in the international press. This is actually in the Wall Street Journal that compares minimum wage across the region, and you can see that Bangladesh is right at the bottom there with $38 a month. Now that's half of what workers in Cambodia get. They get $75 a month, and China there you can see $138 a month. Now a lot of Bangladeshi newspapers are reacting to this news. The Independent, for instance, says that this initiative is welcome. It's a little bit late, but it's welcome. And it says that the reason that Bangladesh has done so well economically is because of its garment sector, and the backbone of the industry are these workers, so they deserve this minimum wage. It says that the factory owners will have to foot this bill, but in the long run, it'll be better if working conditions are better. But there's a different opinion in the Daily Star that says, well, we're sympathetic with the workers' needs, but we also have to take into consideration the manufacturers' needs, because the fact that Bangladesh has such a low cost of work, that's what gives it the competitive advantages on the global market.
It's worth pointing out, though, on that deal that was struck on working conditions, that Walmart and Gap haven't yet signed it. So we'll have to see if they sign up to that deal too. Moving on to another story getting a lot of attention in the press, and that's news that the US Justice Department got phone records from journalists at the Associated Press.
That's right. This is a piece in the Washington Post that really explains what this is all about. Basically, the Justice Department secretly obtained 2 months of telephone records from the Associated Press. Now, according to the Washington Post, what the Justice Department was doing was trying to investigate the disclosure of classified information that was leaked into an article in the Associated Press. But the president of the Associated Press says that this was a massive and unprecedented intrusion.
And finally, a look at a new star of the internet, an astronaut.
That's right, Chris Hadfield. So he's a Canadian astronaut, and he has created a social media firestorm by blogging about his experience. This is an article, for instance, in The Guardian. He has more than 850 followers on Twitter. Let's look at the latest video that he posted on YouTube. It's a song that he sang. Let's take a listen.
Ground control to Major Tom. Lock your Soyuz hatch and put your helmet on.
Okay, so that's obviously David Bowie's Space Oddity in Space. And, well, Bowie himself actually retweeted this. I took a look just now. There were over 4.8 million views on YouTube, and it was posted yesterday. So this guy has become a superstar. I think he has a really sweet voice as well. And he came back to Earth today, so welcome back. He's a superstar now, on top of being an astronaut.
All right, thank you very much, Florence, for taking us through the international newspapers. You're watching Live from Paris. Do stay tuned. Coming up, clothes to suit our changing shapes. A new fashion dummy helps designers adapt to our various sizes. Matthew Warren will be here with more on that after the break.